Okay, let's dive in. Picture this. It's autumn, 1940. The world's in chaos, right? But near this small village in France, something amazing is about to happen. Some teenagers are out. Their dog robot disappears down a hole.
Right. Just vanishes under a fallen tree. Seems like a small thing, a lost dog.
Yeah.
But when they followed him, squeezed into this hole in the Lascaux hill, and then came back a few days later with a lamp.
What they found must have just blown them away.
Absolutely. I mean, an underground world untouched for thousands of years. The walls, the ceilings, just covered in these incredible paintings, engravings, animals leaping off the rock.
So vibrant. It's no wonder Abbé Henri Breuil, the prehistorian, called it the Sistine Chapel of Prehistory almost immediately.
It's a fitting name, really. Gives you such a powerful look into the minds of the people who made it, the Cro-Magnon people, maybe 17,000 years ago.
And that's really what we want to get into in this deep dive. Explore Lascaux, Trying to understand the art, how on earth they created it in total darkness, and, well, what mysteries it still holds for us.
Well, the cave itself is key. Geologically, it was sort of perfect for preserving everything. The entrance got sealed off naturally at some point.
Ah, okay, creating like a time capsule.
Exactly, a stable microclimate. And it's in a region just packed with Stone Age history.
And when you go inside, well, when they went inside, it wasn't just one big cave, was it?
No. It's a series of spaces. You've got the Hall of Bulls, which is just monumental. Huge wild cattle painted on the walls. Some are, over 17 feet long?
17 feet! That's enormous!
It really feels massive. Then you move into, say, the Axial Gallery. That one's all about movement horses, deer, more bulls, painted right onto the curved ceiling.
And they used the rock shape, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. They were brilliant at using the natural bulges and curves of the rock to make the animals look, three-dimensional alive.
Wow. And then places like the nave with the crossed bison and that really strange on the shaft scene.
Ah, yes, the shaft. That's unique. You have to climb down into this pit, and there's this really baffling image. A man, but with a bird's head, seems to be falling down in front of a bison that looks wounded, and there's a rhino nearby too.
A bird-headed man, what could that even mean?
Well, that's the question. It feels different, maybe like a story or a ritual. It's probably one of the most debated images in all cave art.
It's mind-boggling to think about who did this and how 17,000 years ago.
The skill level is just, astonishing. They use mineral pigments, ochres for the reds, yellows, browns, charcoal and manganese oxides for the blacks.
And they had to grind that all up.
Into fine powders, yes. Then they likely mixed it with some kind of binder, maybe animal fat, plant juice, even cave water rich in calcium.
Okay, so they made paint, but applying it in the dark.
They used different tools, pads of moss or animal hide, maybe brushes made from hair or plant fibers. And crucially, they seem to have used blowpipes, like hollow bones or reeds.
Blowpipes, like spraying the paint.
Exactly. Almost like a prehistoric airbrush, letting them create shaded effects, soft edges. For the engraved lines, they'd use sharp flint or bone tools. And like we said, they incorporated the rock's features brilliantly.
And doing all this deep underground, how did they even see?
Artificial light was essential. They found simple stone lamps, basically, hollowed-out stones, where they'd burn animal fat with some kind of wick, maybe moss or juniper.
Wow. So imagine that flickering light.
It would have made the paintings seem to move, shimmer, really enhancing the whole effect, the depth.
Incredible technique. But the big question remains, why? What did it all mean? Why mostly horses and bulls and not Sunni reindeer, which we know they hunted a lot, and hardly any humans?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The why. Early theories were pretty straightforward, like hunting magic, paint the animal, ensure a good hunt.
But that doesn't quite fit, does it, with the animal choices and all those abstract signs they painted too?
Right. It doesn't really explain everything.
Oh.
So modern thinking looks towards, deeper symbolic systems. Ideas like totemism, maybe structuralism, looking for patterns.
But you mentioned shamanism earlier.
Yes, that's become a very influential idea. It suggests the cave wasn't just a gallery, but a sacred space, a place for rituals, maybe connecting with the spirit world, perhaps involving altered states of consciousness.
Well, that bird-headed man.
Could be a shaman figure, yeah. Or represent some kind of spiritual journey or transformation. The deep, dark, hard-to-reach parts of the cave might have been seen as portals, liminal spaces. This art, made in these intense conditions, was likely tied into the whole belief system, the identity of these Magdalenian people.
And Lascaux, Well, amazing. It wasn't alone, right? There were other painted caves.
Oh, definitely. It's part of a huge tradition across Europe. You have Altamira in Spain, famous for its incredible bison ceiling, maybe a bit later than Lascaux, but similar mastery.
And Chauvet. That one's even older, isn't it?
Much older. We're talking over 30,000 years ago. Chauvet shows stunning skill way back then, but with a different focus. Lots of dangerous animals, like lions, rhinos, bears. Suggests maybe different concerns, different beliefs compared to Lascaux. Seeing them together shows this long, evolving story of art and symbolism.
So after the teenagers found Lascaux, it was eventually open to the public.
It was in 1948,
Yeah.
and people flocked to see it, understandably. Millions visited over the years.
But that caused problems.
Huge problems. All those people breathing, the changes in temperature and humidity, bringing in outside microbes. It started damaging the paintings. Green algae, white fungus started growing on the walls.
Oh no, right on the ancient art.
Exactly. It was a disaster waiting to happen. So in 1963, they had to make the really tough decision to close the original cave completely to the public.
Heartbreaking, but necessary for preservation.
Absolutely. It's strictly a research site now, which is why the replicas are so important.
Like Lascaux the Fourth, the newest one.
Yes. From the early Lascaux to Second replica right next door to the incredibly precise Lascaux the Fifth nearby, these allow us to experience the cave's wonder without harming the original. They've done an amazing job capturing the feel and detail.
It's quite a story then. Discovery, wonder, almost losing it, and now this careful preservation and sharing through replicas. Lascaux is just, it's more than just ancient pictures.
It really is. It's this profound record of human thought, creativity, symbolism from 17,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Complex stuff.
And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Why go into the deepest, darkest parts of a cave to create this breathtaking art?
Exactly. What does that intense effort in that environment tell us about that fundamental human drive, the need to make images, to create symbols, to understand our world, and maybe, leave a mark? How does that ancient impulse resonate even now?